Greetings, Boogie fans! Michael here, and according to my top 100 Pokemon, Sceptile is my favorite Pokemon. But is Sceptile any good? FalseSwipeGaming makes Pokemon videos called How Good Was Insert Pokemon Name Actually? He goes through the history of the main series of Pokemon and how good a particular Pokemon was in the competitive scene throughout all those generations. They're very enjoyable videos, which is probably why several of you requested that I make a reaction video to one of them. And of course, the most apt one for me to react to is the one for my favorite Pokemon, Sceptile. I love Sceptile, and I'm just in the mood to get my feelings hurt because I don't think it's gonna be very good. Make sure to subscribe to FalseSwipeGaming. Link to their channel will be in the description below. Go support their great videos. But now, also subscribe to me, obviously. And let's dive in to my reaction to How Good Was Sceptile Actually? So here we are on the starting screen of this video. Due to technical difficulties, the section on Gen 3 will have Pokemon Emerald footage instead of XD Gale of Darkness footage. God, FalseSwipeGaming, how could you? I need my XD Gale of Darkness. Gen 3 footage is Emerald? Emerald's Gen 3, not Gen 3. It is Gen 3. I'll forgive you eventually, okay? Also, one thing, this history will cover Gens 3 through 6, it says. This video, I think, I think it's like 2 years old, approximately. That's what YouTube's saying. I don't know the exact posting date. June 10th, 2018. Okay, that answers my question. Obviously, no Gen 8. I don't know why it doesn't include Gen 7, but I'm not going to complain. I didn't make the video. So let's play. Here we go, yes.
Hey everybody, we now return to your regularly scheduled Generation 3 starter programming. It's Sceptile time, another one of those weirdo Pokemon whose second stage is the coolest version. But
why does this disrespect continue? I love Grovyle, great Pokemon. But do you know how many people have said that Grovyle is cooler than Sceptile? It's a lot. The Odd Ones Out told me that years ago and I have never forgotten it. Sceptile is the coolest one. It's the strongest one.
But hey, I mean, that's not entirely unrealistic, right? Some of us did peak in high school after all. But you know, Sceptile looks like he's got his life together. He's the sort of guy who does prematurely bald, but has the guts to actually shave the whole thing off and look good doing it. He knows what he's about. Ash is
I can honestly say I've never heard Sceptile described like that. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a net compliment, you know? Because, like, the premature balding, it's just like, that just happens to people. Having the guts to shave it all. That's why we respect Sceptile, because he shaves his head.
Sceptile even had a twig in his mouth that made it look nonchalant all the time. Actually, come to think of it, he's had that since he was a Trico. And hey, that Trico evolved into one of Ash's most powerful Pokemon in the Hoenn region. But anyway, the Sceptile being...
It beat a Darkrai! The only Pokemon to beat Tobias's Darkrai was Ash's Sceptile, okay? Sceptile deserves respect.
Powerful hold true for competitive Pokemon? Let's find out how good was Sceptile actually.
Yes, very good.
And in this video, we'll be talking about these competitive formats. Sceptile is one of those Pokemon where the stats don't exactly match the image, at least to me. All of Sceptile's Pokedex entries talk about how fast it is, and a 120 base speed backs it up. It just looks a little bit more lumbering than that in this Gen 3 sprite. But as we know from the blue doofuses, looks can be pretty deceiving. Anyway, Sceptile's speed and special attack probably make you think it was supposed to run a special sweeper set. But Sceptile's move pool was the culprit here. It only had 5 non-grass type special moves aside from Hidden Power, which were Crunch, Pursuit, Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, and Thunder Punch.
Yeah, Sceptile's moveset is not my favorite.
The coverage provided by these moves is pretty wonky. Type-wise, they were great, as literally nothing would resist the combination of Electric, Grass, Dark, and Dragon coverage. But with no boosting move and the fact that most of those moves had pretty mediocre base powers, you probably weren't going to gain too much momentum. And you lacked attacks to hit potential threats like Blissey and Salamence. The attacking versions of Sceptile that did exist, thus spec mixed purely out of need for more power. Leaf Blade, Thunder Punch, and Hidden Power Ice provided a bit more of a solid core, giving ways to deal with the 4x Ice Weakness Dragon.
Yeah,
while
choice
Focus Punch
specs,
could threaten
go,
Blissey and Snorlax on the Switch with minimal investment. Another option to become a sweeper more threatening if you left it unattended was using Sceptile's one viable boosting move, Swords Dance, which could potentially turn its mediocre attack into, well, less mediocre. Brick Break and Hidden Power Flying were still disappointingly low base power attacks to use. So faced with no way to boost its special attack, what did Sceptile do? Well, it turned to berries, like any self-respecting Pokemon in need of a move pool boost. And
you know, I hadn't really thought about it that much, but yeah, Sceptile really is lacking in the boosting move department. I don't know if it got Dragon Dance later. I don't think it did. But yeah, no Quiver Dance, no Calm Mind. Does it get any move that boosted special attack? Nowadays? I don't even know. Yeah, Sceptile was always weird. Like, and also like, once its signature move became a physical move, that was also another weird thing for it because its special attack is higher than its physical attack. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it hits reasonably hard and it's very fast, but its move pool is just strange.
Endeavor plus Sub Pataya was a dastardly set, as without some incredibly smart play from your enemy,
Pataya.
Sceptile's natural speed all but
Pataya Berry? Wait, that went too fast. I don't know what a Pataya Berry does. A hold item that raises special attack in a pinch. Okay. By how many stages? I don't care about the growth and harvest. How many stages? Why is there not more information about this berry? It just says raises. Am I just supposed to assume it's just by one? I guess that's what I'm gonna do. The berry is very hard.
Guaranteed, it was going to get a substitute and an Endeavor off before killing you with its boosted special attack. After that, it wasn't hard to switch into something that could kill it off, but it would almost certainly take something down with it. So we've gone over all the attacking sets, and they were all okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. It's like good special moves, but no boost and mediocre power. Physical moves, boosting move, but your physical attack isn't that great. Or like Sub Endeavor Pataya Berry. You can get a kill probably, but you're going down after that. So yeah, it's a more specific version of what I didn't want to hear.
Again, no special boosting move. But what if we broadened the definition of a boosting move? After all, isn't boosting your HP sort of the same thing? So it was with that Sceptile found its true calling in Stall of all things. The same speed that made Sub plus Pataya such an aggravating combination meant that Sceptile was probably the best Subseed Pokemon in the game. You would almost always get the Leech Seed up. And
I enjoy the praise. I always thought Breloom was the better Subseed Pokemon, but I guess that happened later. Yes, Subseed. What I like to hear. Subseed.
Provided they weren't chunking you too hard, your substitute would be good to go too. This set did particularly well against some of attacking Sceptile's biggest annoyances, like Blissey, who got utterly wrecked by this set. Max special attack investment was kept because this set was about speed and exploiting switches. Being able to predict and fire off a Leaf Blade on the switch was a huge momentum booster. Hidden Power, Ice, or Fire were there to deal with Salamence or Skarmory, and this set could prove a huge annoyance, although it struggled with other boosters who could power through it. Or of course, Grass types, who weren't affected by Leech Seed at all. Sceptile's biggest problem was that Grass wasn't a great attacking type in Gen 3. The meta was swarmed with things that resisted it, like Metagross, Salamence, Jirachi, Gengar, and Skarmory, and either Steel or Dragon would wall Subseed depending on the hidden power type. Sure, Sceptile could deal with Tyranitar and Swampert, but it just didn't match up super favorably against the top Pokemon because of Grass's low power moves as a type and the resistances. And Sceptile's special attack was good, but not great. If a fire type showed up, Sceptile was especially screwed. With a special boosting move, it's quite likely it would have done well for itself because it could muscle through things that beat out its stab. But
yeah, Grass. Yeah, wow, there really were a lot of really strong Pokemon that resisted Grass that he just mentioned there. My gosh. I've never played Gen 3 competitive, but yeah, it seems like Metagross and Salamence and Dragonite would be like, no. We're going to kick your grass.
As is, it just couldn't quite climb to the top and ended up in borderline. The physical special split was kind to Sceptile, who had multiple hard-hitting special attack.
Okay, see, that's where I was, that's what, the physical special split I thought was bad to Sceptile. I mean, I guess it gets like Leaf Storm as I see it being used there. But for me, I was always like, I always thought like, oh, now Leaf Blade isn't as good for it. Maybe I'm just sentimentally attached to Leaf Blade. But I always thought the physical special split hurt Sceptile because of that. But I mean, Grass Knot and Leaf Storm, I see over there.
Such as Focus Blast and Leaf Storm, which were bestowed on Sceptile as moves got reworked in general. Combined with Life Orb, Sceptile's special attacking set looks like it's got a little bit more bite. Leaf Storm, Dragon Pulse, Hidden Power Fire, and Focus Blast made for the same great coverage it had, but with more kick in its step. Only dedicated tanks like Blissey or Snorlax could really take a hit, and while Heat Ram was a threat, many versions ran some attack IVs and Earthquake to be able to one-hit KO it after Stealth Rock damage. And
I kind of like that. I kind of like that. You know, so look at me. Leaf Storm, Focus Blast, Dragon Pulse. Haha, I'm a Heat Train, you can't do anything. Haha, surprise! I also brought Ground Pound, which Heat Train really does not appreciate.
And if you were especially scared of Life Orb damage or something, SubSeed still worked pretty well. Grass Knot and Energy Ball gave just a smidge more damage to threatened water types, while Hidden Power Fire and Hidden Power Ice stayed in the backup slot for the same reasons. It's worth mentioning this set had specific IVs and EVs. The IVs to maximize Leech Seed healing, and the EVs for specific speed points against threats like Choice Scarf Tyranitar.
Boy. I like watching competitive Pokemon. But part of the reason I don't love doing it myself is like I have to precisely calculate how many IVs or EVs are necessary to survive this specific hit from this specific Pokemon with this specific... I get that some people like that and I think that's fun. Totally fair. Not for me. I like Pokemon battles when I think about them like in the anime, you know, where they're like down to the wire, exciting, you know? Not doing math. I like science. I like math. Not as much in Pokemon. The most amount of math I do in Pokemon is like figuring out like stab boosts compared to like type resistances compared to like and weaknesses and like weather impacts and stuff like that.
Unfortunately for Sceptile, it wasn't the only thing that got new toys. Yeah, you might be outspeeding Scarf T-Tar, but what about other Scarf Revenge killers? It was here that Sceptile's own poor defenses came to light. Most strong neutral hits would decimate it, meaning the threat from Scarf Pokemon was high. Heat Ran in particular
neutral
was a
hits?
nuisance,
Sceptile,
as any version of Sceptile without Earthquake or Focus Blast would straight up lose, although some Scarf versions would outspeed a SubSeed set that was already set up. Scizor was a huge problem, as it only feared Hidden Power Fire on the Switch, and
I mean, what grass type does not have a huge problem with Scizor? There's no grass fire types.
Packed an answer for every option Sceptile had. U-turn for a super effective attack that gained momentum, Pursuit predicting a switch, or Bullet Punch for a priority move that would likely KO. Speaking of Bullet Punch, priority moves were not great news for Sceptile.
That shot of Scizor coming over, it's like Pursuit. Like this fast move before he can switch and he's just like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
It was trapped in this weird stat space. Not strong enough to run a Scarf set, meaning its high speed will let it beat anything unboosted, but lose to anything with the speed boost because of its low defenses. As such, it dropped a tiny bit to underuse, though it still saw some overuse play. In underuse, Sceptile had a whole lot more options. Like
in underuse, it was in UU. Oh, that's higher than I thought. I know there was a lot less Pokemon back then, but like that's cool that it was in UU. I guess. He said it was in Borderline in Gen 3, which is like, I guess that's fine, you know? I was worried Sceptile was like never used or something like that, but I suppose never used was reserved for like cast form, hell yeah. FalseSwipeGaming has never made a video on cast form. I checked, which I kind of want him to, because I love cast form, but also the entire video is just going to be like, this was garbage.
Like its old mix attacker set or even a choice spec set, but it didn't have quite the gusto to pull those off in overuse. As I'm sure you can imagine, power creep for a Pokemon already struggling with power was not great. It meant more Pokemon that could abuse priority or a Scarf, as well as just a ton more Pokemon that Sceptile really didn't want to face, like Hydreigon, Garchomp, the Laddies, and Kyurem. The SubSeed set
Kinda knew this was coming. Everything else was getting better, and Sceptile was remaining the same. I still love you, friend, but yeah, okay. Anyways,
became pretty unviable in overuse, as the amount of Pokemon that could potentially outspeed you was a lot higher, and any hit meant death. Hey, I've got to hand it to the sprite artist though. At least Sceptile looked like something that moved fast and would get toppled now.
Yeah, I know it's a fast sweeper. That's just not fast and enough and doesn't hit hard enough. Crazy that it's 120 speed and that's not fast enough. Rip.
As opposed to the weird dinosaur hybrid it was in Gen 3. Its color also changed a bit to be darker green, you know. These are just things I noticed. Anyway, with Subseed gone,
it's
Sceptile's
important.
only option was to hit fast and hard, and that's what it tried to do. Its set was all but identical to its Life Orb set in Gen 4, although Dragon Pulse was dropped. You were probably going to want Hidden Power Ice or Focus Blast anyways in those situations, and losing hard to Steel types wasn't a great idea. This set was a great revenge killer for Pokemon like Keldeo, Tornadus, and Thundurus T, and luckily for Sceptile, it matched up well against 3 of the most common weather inducers, Politoed, Tyranitar, and Hippowdon. But its weaknesses were many. It's unfortunately true that Grass just isn't an incredible attacking type on its own. Too many Pokemon in Overuse beat Sceptile straight up.
The Grass has just too many weaknesses. It either has the most amount of weaknesses, or it's tied for the most. So, I know Rock has the most. I'm pretty sure Rock has the most, and Grass is either tied with it or has like 1 fewer. Grass types are tied with Rock in having the most weaknesses out of all types with 5. But yeah, Grass type, I have kind of an attachment to Grass types because of Sceptile and Torterra and Tropius and some other grass, and Breloom, other grass types I like, but not the best.
Aside from the other threats I mentioned, any priority user would beat it, and it's always had to pick between losing to Dragon or Steel types. Dragonite deserves a special mention here for being able to boost and hit with priority. Sun teams also messed it up hard, as did opposing grass types like Celebi or Amoonguss.
Kind of weird hearing Sun teams messing up a grass type, but I suppose if you're not running Solar Beam or Chlorophyll or something like that, then that would make sense.
Finally, with Subseed gone, Special Walls had no fear of coming in and putting a halt to its efforts.
Subseed was gone. Why was Subseed gone? Was it just not like a practical strategy anymore, I'm guessing? I'm guessing that's what he meant.
Sceptile actually dropped all the way to rarely used. Though it's niche as the fastest non-legendary grass type and its good special attack let it at least fit a niche to make occasional ventures into the higher tier. Luckily for Sceptile, Gen 6 gave it the dual typing it had always wanted to fit in with its fellow Gen 3 starters, Dragon. That 4 times weakness to ice was honestly negligible, as Mega Sceptile was likely getting KO'd by any strong ice move anyways, and it enjoyed the resistances. More than that though, Mega Sceptile enjoyed the boost to its base stats.
That's an interesting like way to view that. It's like I hadn't considered that before. It's like, yeah, it went from a 2 times weak to ice to 4 times weak to ice, but that was fine. It was gonna die to ice anyways. And I'm just like, oh, this is the first time I've considered a 4 times weakness being a good thing. It did increase the amount of weaknesses it has from 5 to 6, but it did gain a lot of resistances. So, anyways, let's hear more about how it's better. Now, was better. This is Gen 6.
25 attack, 10 defense, 25 speed, and a huge additional 40 special attack. It also got a nice ability in Lightning Rod, giving Sceptile one more way to
I forgot about Lightning Rod!
And it really needed all this stuff. Regular Sceptile fell into the never used ban list, now effectively outclassed by Contrary Superior and other attacking grass types. At 145 base speed, Mega Sceptile was the fastest dragon type in Overuse after Mega Evolution. This allowed it to effectively revenge kill the scores of dragons populating the tier, such as the Laddies, Garchomp, and Mega Charizard X. Only Mega Altaria and its fairy typing stimmied it. The addition of another stab was something Sceptile had been begging for ages. But let's be honest, in most cases you were spamming Leaf Storm. Without Leaf Storm, Sceptile's non-boosted 145 special attack would be suspect, even lower than regular Sceptile's Life Orb output. But with such a devastatingly powerful
move, really? The 145 ends up worse without the Life Orb? Is that how that works? Hold on. Okay, clearly I don't know math. Or I know math. I don't know how the Life Orb works. Because I thought Life Orb gave a 30% boost to your special, to whatever attack you're using. And so 105 times 1.3 is 136.5, which is lower than 145. But there must be something else that I'm just missing here.
Mega Sceptile was able to pretend it was one of the premier special attackers, at least until the special attack drop happened. The other moves were standard fare, Earthquake for Heatran and other steel types, especially effective with the patch on attack, and Hidden Power Fire or Focus Blast for the other steel types. 4 times resistance to water meant Mega Sceptile was actually a great threat to bulky water types, although it did fear the potential Ice Beam, and Lightning Rod made it
I forgot about the ice part! I was like, look at him getting that slow, bro. Yeah, then the Ice Beam came in and my hopes were dashed.
Quake or just a huge Leaf Storm. Mega Sceptile also had the option of running a substitute set. This time though, the draining move was different. Giga Drain provided damage and recovery, while Dragon Pulse and Focus Blast made for coverage. This set eased prediction and made it harder to beat Sceptile simply by tanking a Leaf Storm and exploiting the special attack drop. While the addition of the Dragon typing didn't mean too much against Ice types, since Sceptile was weak to them anyways, it did mean Fairy types beat Sceptile straight up. Mega Altaria had free reign against Sceptile, and Mega Gardevoir could beat it as long as it didn't tank the Leaf Storm. Bulky Fairy types like Sylveon or Clefable did even better, as they never feared taking a hit too much and were free to set up. Flying types also did well, as Mega Sceptile's unboosted special attack started to show when forced to use a move that wasn't
Can we just talk about how cool the Gen 6 animation for Dragon Pulse is, though? Like, where it's like, like, at least it's got that going for it. At least it's got that going for it.
Always, opposing grass types destroyed it straight up, especially its fellow Mega Starter Venusaur, and other special walls like Chansey and Blissey still walled it. But in the end, it was still the Revenge Killers who were Sceptile's biggest problem. A problem big enough that Mega Sceptile found itself in underuse, even after all the help it got. Talonflame, Mamoswine, Weavile, Choice Band Scizor, the list goes on. Though the amount of purely Scarf things that could beat it was slightly lower, it was still quite high. Again, a Pokemon that had a niche as a fast grass type, but not a niche large enough for it to find itself in overuse. And as for doubles, regular
Rip. I mean, it's like underused, yeah, but like a Mega with that base stat total is just an underused. It was just tough because like with only one Mega, it was like you used better Megas. That was just how it was. Sigh. Well, anyways, let's find out how it did in Gen 6 VGC 15. I played a bit of VGC 14. I didn't really play 15.
Sceptile pretty much never had any notable placings in doubles. The combination of its poor typing and bad defenses meant it was easily exploitable, and grass types are generally better at supporting Pokemon in doubles. However, Mega Sceptile did have notable placings in 2015 on Keon Spy's team at VGC 2015 Netherlands Regionals. That's a +1's team at a California Winter Regionals placing 5th, and Yuri's team during the Italy 2016 Nationals for VGC. Also placing within the top 8. Unfortunately, other than the placings themselves, we don't know much about those specific Mega Sceptile, other than Keon Spy abusing Mega Sceptile's Lightning Rod ability by using Discharge from the Discharge, in order to power it up.
Oh, Parabolic Charge. Yeah, spread electric move, same thing.
However, we do know that overall in 2015, thanks to an analysis article by Serapice, Sceptile can outspeed threats such as Mega Salamence and Choice Scarf Landorus Therian, depending on natures. Unfortunately though, it lacked Draco Meteor, and has to rely on Dragon Pulse for its Dragon Stab.
Oh yeah, that's always one unfortunate thing about Sceptile, is that it doesn't get, like, Draco Meteor, which is an incredible move. Because, you know, it has to be a Dragon type to learn Draco Meteor, and it's never a Dragon type outside of battle when you talk to the move tutor. I feel like they should have made an exception for Mega Sceptile. Ugh. Or just made Sceptile Dragon type from the start. That would have been cool. Just retcon it. Just make it Dragon type now. Do it. You got the guts, Game Freak. You retconned all the Fairy types. Most of the Fairy types. Yeah, it was a new type. And I don't think they've ever changed a Pokemon's type when they haven't added a new one, but I still want to see it happen.
Gen 6, the grass and dragon coverage is pretty mediocre. As for weaknesses, Mega Sceptile hates Talonflame and Trick Room very much. And as for
let's not put words in Mega Sceptile's mouth, okay? I like Talonflame, I like Mega Sceptile, they can be friends.
The 2016 meta, it seems to be useful for absorbing electric moves similar to Raichu, and can outspeed and take out both Primal Kyogre and Mega Rayquaza with its stats, though its frailness can make it a liability to other powerful Pokemon in the 2016 meta. And that's it, so how good was Sceptile actually? It was pretty below average if we're being honest. It's got a really unique spot as a fast attacking grass type, but maybe what we've learned is that that archetype doesn't really work, unless your name is Superior. The only Pokemon we've seen make it to overuse with something close to that are Shaman, who's a legendary, Roserade, who's a spiker, and Kartana in Gen 7, who's disgustingly powerful. Grass is a type that lends itself better to support, usually, which struggles mightily to achieve much as a stab typing. In early generations, a boosting move could have potentially made Sceptile a real threat.
When I think of strong grass types, I think of Whimsicott and I think of Ferrothorn. Both of which are super, very much support Pokemon. Like, they don't have the offense, but they've got good defense. Whimsicott with Prankster is incredible. Ferrothorn has very few weaknesses, is very bulky. Iron Barbs, like, really builds up. Yeah, that wasn't something I'd previously considered, but poor Sceptile. Not being trying to be a fast offensive grass type sweeper with its limited move pool is not the ideal role.
As its attacking move pool has always been great, but it still has nothing to show there. Having to rely on boost.
Did I just say it's not the greatest move pool and then he just said its attacking move pool has always been great? Well, I want it wider.
Berries, evolutions, and abilities. Fast and Feral can be successful, but here it just wasn't. But hey, at least it's pretty good in Pokken, I think. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, it
and
is.
As always, if you liked the video and you want to see more, be sure to...
Somebody won like a Pokken tournament using Sceptile, so they got that going for it. Final thoughts on this video. I learned some new things that were interesting. I didn't actually know that Sceptile was ever used as a subseeder, but I did kind of know that it was below average. God, I wish it was broken. Don't we all wish our favorite Pokemon was brokenly overpowered? Why do I like Pokemon that aren't that good? Like, if I think about my top 5 favorite Pokemon, Sceptile below average, Vikavolt, stupidly slow, Zebstrika, terrible move pool. Okay, Gliscor was very good for a while. And then Castform's great. But like 4 of my top 5 favorite Pokemon just are not good competitive Pokemon. Thanks again to FalseSwipeGaming for letting me make this video. Make sure to subscribe to them, and thank you guys for watching, with an extra special thanks to my patrons over on Patreon, who are helping support my channel independent of fluctuating YouTube ad rates. If you want to help support me in the same way, the link is in the description below. If you want to check out some more of my fun Pokemon content, I recommend these videos here. All right, that's all I have for now. So until next time, fans, gotta catch them all.